Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khairul bin Bairullah. My matric number is 27797 and I'm a student of Construction Technology BJTH 2023 Groups B. So today I would like to present about my assignment, which is a video presentation. So for the content, there are 5 content for my video presentations today, which is the first one is project life cycle. The second one is activities involved during construction project. The third one is key players, project planning and controlling, and last but not least, a successful construction project. Before we go to the first content, let me talk about what is the definitions of construction technology. Construction technology refers to the collections of innovative tools, machinery, modification software, etc. used during the construction phase of a project that enables an advancement in field construction methods, including semi-automated and automated construction equipment. Alright, for the first content is project life cycle. What is the definitions about project life cycle? The project life cycle is a 4-step framework designed to help project managers guide the project successfully from start to finish. The purpose of the project life cycle is to create an easy to follow framework to guide projects. What is the 4 stage of the project life cycle? The 4 stage of project life cycles include the project initiation stage, the project planning stage, the project execution stage, and the project closure stage. The first project life cycle is project initiation stage. Understand the goals, priorities, deadlines, and risks of the project. The initiation stage of the project management life cycle is when you meet with clients and stakeholders to understand their goals, motivations, and hopes for the project. During this stage, the aim is to hash out the high-level goals that must be met for you to consider the project is a success. There's a lot of research, discovery, and discussion, but very little detailed planning in this phase. The key project management steps for the initiation stage, including identifying project objectives and deliverables, outlining project risks, dependency, constraints, and priorities, establishing project scope based on deadlines and available resources, submitting a project proposal for approval. The second project life cycle is project planning stage. Outline the tasks and timeline required to execute on the project. Once the proposal has been approved, it's time to move on the project planning stage of the project life cycle. The project planning stage is when you create a comprehensive project plan which involves translating your proposal into a series of actionable tasks and scheduling them into a project roadmap. Documenting process of workflows that your team will use. Creating measurable short-term goals from high-level project goals. Addressing potential issues that could derail your roadmap. This project plan will be the source of truth for your team when any question, conflicts, or issues arise throughout the project. The third stage of project life cycle is project execution stage. Turn your plan into action and monitor project performance. The project execution stage is the true start of the project when you carry out all of the tasks and activities you map out in the planning stage. This is where the majority of the project work takes place and it requires constant monitoring, except to adjust the goals and roadmap as you get deeper into the project. As a project manager, the responsibility of the project execution stage are monitor and control the execution process, reviewing the quality of the teams, adjust and update tasks, goals, and deadlines to meet changing conditions, communicate between your team and the project stakeholders, create status to communicate executions progress throughout the project management process. Although most of the time during the executions project are only will be spent monitoring and adjusting to keep the project on track. The last stage of the project life cycle is the project closure stage. Analyze, results, summarize. key learnings and plan next steps. Once the manager have reached the project goals and the results have been signed off on by your stakeholder, it's time to project the closure stage. In the project closure stage of the project management, the manager should hands off deliverables, release team members and project resources, analyze project performance in a project retrospective. A project retrospective is just much about reviewing the success of the project as it is about extracting learnings that can apply to future projects. Project will never go without obstacle, and there will always be things to learn that will ease the progress of other projects. Now let's move on to the next content, which is activities involved during a construction project. There are 11 activities that involve during the construction project. The first one is marking and grading. The second one is excavation. The third one is concreting. The fourth one is carpentry. The fifth one is brick masonry. The sixth for plumbing. 7 welding. 8 electrical. 9 roof laying. 10 glazing, and the last one is finishing. The first activities during the construction project is marking and grading. Marking is one of the first construction activities which involves marking the area of the plot for reference. This helps the workers to always be able to orient themselves in terms of their workspace. Grading helps to ensure that buildings are even, last long, and maintain maximum support. There may be particular circumstances when something is being constructed that will require a slight incline or decline to the base surface. In this case, it will be very important that incline is exactly the correct angle. Is a matter and plays a major role in construction management. Grading uses big machines to help ensure space is level or that it is the appropriate angle is that supposed to be. Project or activities during the construction project is excavation. Excavation is the terms of moving earth or rocks out of a certain area to prepare it for construction. This includes basement excavation, which digs the earth out to prepare for a basement to be built. It is also includes muds, rock, and topsoil excavation, all of which include removing the substance from the workspace. Third activities is concreting. The process of pouring concrete is another major activities in construction. It is often used for the base of building for roads, bridges, pipes, and many other applications. One of the reasons it becomes so popular in the construction industry is that concrete is easy to make in large quantity and it changes state so that it's easy to work with and manipulate. Next is carpentry. Carpentry is one of the first activities that come to many people's mind when construction is mentioned. It is carpentry. It is a general cutting and installations of materials that will be used for the constructions of a structure. Company used to be a word that described the individual working with wood specifically, but now carpentry means working with several different materials. Fifth activities during the construction project is brick masonry. Brick masonry have been used in contributions for decades and are still used and often today as a highly efficient material. Brick masons lay the bricks, ensuring that they are laid in a way structurally sound. For example, laying rich a brick on top of other allows for cracks to go along the entire walls. If the bricks are offset, as you will see, it makes several cracking of the mortar less likely. The sixth activities is plumbing. In structure that require plumbing, there are specific plumbing activities that must occur to ensure that they will function properly. This includes putting piping in fixture for both incoming potable water and outgoing waste. One activities during the construction project is welding. The activities of attaching two metals together using heat is welding, a crucial action in construction used to bind metals, especially for structural purposes. There are different types of welding which can be used for different types of metal and different conditions. While welding is extremely skilled, it can be difficult to master. It is also dangerous, so it is important construction companies have strict safety guards. The eighth activities during the construction project is electrical. Individual work electricians on a construction project are responsible for ensuring that the structure will ultimately have full access to electricity from the transformer provided by the electrical company, which is located close to the building. There are several steps that go into the installations of electricity in a build, including temporary electrical needs, rough installations, and finally the real installations which will be used. Number 9 activities for the construction project is roof laying. Roofing is an important construction activities for ensuring the protections of a structure from the elements and can help provide stability for the structure. There are different methods using for roofing. Shingles are common for the residential roofs, but there are also metal, polycarbonate, and steel roof, as well many others are used for different purposes. Number 10 of the activities during the construction project is glazing. This activity is basically anything to do with glass, windows, and doors in a construction project. The term is used broadly to refer to installations of pretty much as any glasses involved in the construction of a particular structure. Now for the last activities is finishing. Finishing in construction means putting on the final touch of a structure in order to prepare it to be used. This includes, but is not limited to, activities like glazing, flooring, painting, wallpapering, and plastering. It is most often final aesthetic touches and slightly less about safety and functions, although all finishing activities are crucial part of final construction project. Now let's take a look about the key players in construction technology. There are 5 key players. The first one is owner or client, consultant, general contractor, subcontractor, and the suppliers. There are 2 definitions for the client. The first one is client is the entity, individual, or organizations commissioning and funding the project directly or indirectly. The second definition of project or the client is the person or company with the controlling interest in the project. Generally, the client will retain a significant level of control over the assessment and appointment of designer and contractors for a project. There are 2 contractors. The first one is general contractor. The main contractor is concerned about all the works involved within a project and is accountable to the client. The second one is a subcontractor or specially contractor. The subcontractor is often only responsible for a certain part of the works, for example, electrical, engineering, plumbing, or landscape. Next is the suppliers. Suppliers is a party that supplies goods or a service in construction. The goods include any material to go into a built structure, while services refers to all the different works packages agreed upon all by the different parties pertaining to the development of the built structure. Recently, the industry has realized the importance of the supply chain and how this can be managed when carrying out project activities. And the last one is consultant. Consultant is defined as a person who provides professional or expert advice in a particular field of science or business to either an organizations or individual. So now we already at the fourth content which is project planning and controlling. So let's take a look about the project planning. In planning phase, the plan is made and strategies are set. Taking into considerations the company policies, procedures, and rules, planning provides directions, unifying framework, performance standards, and helps to reveal future opportunities and threats in planning. In planning, there are several steps that need to be followed. The first one, the objectives of the projects in defined words, goals and stage intermediates to attain the final target, forecast of mean achieving goals activities, organization's resources, financial, managerial, and operational to carry out activities and to determine what is feasible and what is not. Alternative individuals' courses of actions that will allow accomplishing goals for consistency with company policies. An alternative which is not only consistent with these goals and concept but also one that can accomplish with the evaluated resources and decisions on plan. Currently in plan there are 3 types of plans. The first one is a forward plan. A planner start from the initial event and builds up the event and activities logically and sequentially until the end event is reached. What event comes next? What are the planned events? What events can take concurrently? The second types of plan is backward planning. The planner starts with the end event and arrange the events and activities until the initial event is reached. The planner asks himself, if we want to achieve this, what event or activities that should be taken place. The third one is combined planning. Combinations of both forward and backward planning. At any stage, the planner may need to traverse the network back and forth several times until it found to be satisfactory. Question of the planners: what events or event must be completed before the particular event starts? To the project planning, we have the project controlling. This phase is carried out during the executions of the project. The difference between the schedule performance and actual performance are reviewed once the project starts. Project control is established to determine deviations from the basic plans, to determine the precise effects of these deviations of the plan, and to replan and reschedule to compensate for the deviations. Controlling, the following steps are followed. The standards and targets are established, and targets are generally exposed in terms of time. Performance measures against the standard set down in the first steps. The deviations from the standards are identified. Alright, now we go to the final content, which is a successful construction project. What makes the construction project become successful? Okay, there are 6. The first one is the project budget. The project budget, the completion timeline, the safety of the project team's performance, the scope of the project, the finished project quality, the customer satisfactions. The project budget must be same as the agreed by both the client and the contractor. The completion timeline is not very late, it's not too early, but it's on time. The safety of the project must be have safety for the client or the workers. The project team's performance must excellence and get customer satisfactions. The scope of the project are event. The finished project quality is good, and the customer satisfactions are great. That's all for me. Thank you.